they show up. It's now 6:09. Call this meeting to order.
Dan, can I just say something quickly then?
Sure.
The mayor won't be here tonight.
Yep.
Who's backing through the window? No, the mayor offers his apologies, but he did say he's got a very good stand-in named Vincent Pusateri, so we
Yeah,
should be okay.
yeah, we're good shape.
All right.
Yeah, we're good. We're
Okay.
moving right along. Okay, previous month's minutes, including special meeting minutes 2A, action items from previous minutes. Mr. Clayton, that's you, buddy.
Yes, I submitted drafts for February 26th, June 24th, and August 26th.
Okay.
Pretty confident in the February 26th and August 26th, but the June 24, I have a question. If we voted, or did we vote to charge less for like a 10% discount for tenants that were complaining about the airport being closed?
No,
No,
Was I dreaming?
you were.
possibly.
Well, in which meeting did we increase the rent?
That came up as of the 1st of August, so it must have been the July meeting.
Yeah. Okay. No, there wasn't a July meeting.
When did we, what was it, June then?
June.
June.
Okay, June.
Yeah, so June is when the issue came up about the tenants wanted a discount and we wanted to increase the rent, correct?
It was discussed. I can't remember if they were both done in the same month.
And we didn't vote for any forgiveness.
No,
None.
and they've all paid their bills, so don't even talk about it.
I just wanted to be
That ends that
accurate.
conversation.
Hey?
If we
Moving
made
right
a
along.
motion, I wanted to make sure that I had it in writing, and that's why I didn't write it.
Moving right along.
And the side
Okay.
of caution, yeah.
All right, I'm looking for a motion to accept all of the minutes. That's
Well,
right.
can I just ask a question? Are there any action
Okay.
items on the August meeting minutes that we
Yeah.
have to do? Or can you read them out and see what they are?
If I could see them, but I'm on my computer.
Oh,
I don't know how to look at my documents and watch this.
okay. Well, I mean, you'd have to propose that that's, adjourned until next month, and then the action items for August are addressed in October, sorry.
Okay,
But somebody have to make a motion, right?
yeah, go ahead.
No, I can't.
Go ahead, somebody, Rich.
Yes, I'd like
Make a
to
motion.
make a motion to accept the February, June, and August meeting minutes.
I
with-
second that.
Okay, with attention to the action items for the following month. All in
Sure.
favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Correspondence to the commission? Mr.
I
Kellogg?
haven't seen any.
Neither have I.
Debbie, you've gone muted.
Debbie, you're muted. Debbie disappeared.
I don't know why.
Yeah, you've gone from everybody's screen.
Yeah, okay, well, here we go. Project review from Gail. They're not here, so we'll go to the end
Well,
of the
maybe they are, because if you look at the top of the screen, there's 3 non-video participants, and we only know of Richie Liberatori. So is Nick on?
Nick, are you there? Oh, Nick.
Now Vinny's gone.
This is,
I'm with you.
Oh, now you're back. Yeah, thank you.
okay, all right.
I'm here.
Well,
I'm
let's hold
listening.
let's hold off on Gail in case they show up. All right, how's that? All right, Fitchburg Pilot Association. What do we got there? Anything, Peter?
The only thing that I know of, I spoke to the president, Glenn Reinhardt, yesterday,
Mhm.
and they've added a sink unit within the hangar, and they have to write and tell us that whenever they make a mod, as you know.
Mhm.
And also their next meeting, which is next Tuesday, they're taking all the planes out of the hangar, and they're allowing 50 people to go into the meeting, equally spaced 6 feet apart, in line with the Massachusetts COVID rules. And if there's more than 50, those people that are above the 50 will have to join through the electronic system.
Okay. All right. And do you know what the criteria for this meeting is going to be?
It's just an update meeting. They usually get a speaker,
No, okay, all right.
of renowned, whatever. No, they're good meetings. They are good meetings. You should attend one.
No problem. I will. When is it going to be?
It's the first Tuesday of every month.
First Tuesday.
Second Tuesday of every month.
Yeah,
Yes, second Tuesday of every
I'll be
month.
there all alone for the first, huh? All right, second Tuesday, Parliament. All right, very good. Okay, on the new business. Consultant selection.
Okay, Mary Delaney was given that responsibility.
Yeah,
She's doing an absolutely fantastic job.
yep,
We've seen the write-ups that she's sending out, and the RFQ was actually issued today for
okay,
interested parties to be the new consultant for the airport.
all right,
And there's a list of 6 action points. The first one was the RFQ, which was today. The second one is a pre-response briefing that Mary will do through the internet. And
yeah,
then that's on the 30th of this month. And then on the 13th of October, it's the last day for questions. And then on the 22nd of October, it's the proposals are due in. And then on the 2nd of November, its interviews will be scheduled. And on the 20th of November, the contract will be awarded.
okay,
So, we should be done by the end of the year, which is absolutely fantastic.
okay,
So,
good. All right, good. Joe Spinelli and Eric Sheffields.
Sheffels. Yeah, Joe Spinelli currently has a Cirrus SR22 based at Hanscom Field. He's a businessman in the trucking industry, and he's buying a new Cirrus jet called an SF50. And he came to us asking if he could build a hangar on our property to house his jet and pay the appropriate rent. So I actually met with him last week
Yeah,
and showed him all the opportunities or the potential areas, and agreed with him that if he puts together his plan of what he wants to do, that would then have to be approved by the commission, and then it would have to go through the FAA for approval. And then once that's done, we would talk about per square foot pricing. And
okay,
I happen to be talking to, and it would be exactly the same size as the Pilots Association meeting, which is big.
okay,
I think it's 4,200 square feet. So it's a big hangar. And I was talking to another guy at the airport who also owns an SR22. His name is Eric Sheffels. That's why I put his name down here.
yeah,
He said, Peter, I'm interested in doing exactly the same thing. I want my own big hangar at Fitchburg. Oh, here's Nick now.
Hi, Nick. How you doing?
You're muted, Nick.
Nick, you're muted.
Sorry about that.
Okay,
I
no
was up in
problem.
Biddeford today for their runway opening, and by the time I got Logan from daycare, it was just, I got home maybe 5 minutes ago. Sorry about
Okay,
that.
that's right, no problem. Understandable. Okay, let's back up to where you are and go to project review for Gail. Okay,
Okay.
it's all yours, Nick.
All right. So I'm sort of winging it here. Sorry. The 2 projects that are currently ongoing are the runway project and the fuel farm project. Peter, correct me if I'm wrong. The fuel farm project is, for all intents and purposes, complete. Have we figured out the remaining issues?
We have, but we still need to change one of the valves, which is on the top of the tank, and Frank's onto that. It's
Okay.
filling well once we open that valve to enable air to get in and fuel to get into the actual airplanes. So they had an experienced guy here 2 days ago, and he was talking to Todd at the tank manufacturer, and they sorted it out between them. So it's working well. But that's better. I was going to say you'd muted yourself again, Nick. So
I know. I hold the space bar when I'm talking.
all right. So yeah, so things are good, and hopefully by the end of this week we'll have it 100%.
Excellent. Okay. And so we'll be filing the final reimbursement next week. That should close out that project. So moving forward, I think at this point it can be taken off the agenda if you guys are all right with that.
What about the airport master plan you got down there, Peter? Is that for him also?
Yes.
Yeah. But once we get there, yes. But to be quite honest, I'd sooner leave it on, Nick, and then finally take it out once everything's been done.
Absolutely.
If that's okay with the commission, it's the commission's meeting. It's not
Yeah,
mine.
that's fine, that's fine, that's fine.
All right.
Okay. So we'll leave it on. Next month, hopefully, everything is buttoned up and we can take it off the agenda at that point.
Excellent.
I believe same goes for the runway project. We've been holding off on the final reimbursement request because we are at 90% of the grant amount. So I believe the remainder of the punch list work was completed yesterday, I believe.
Day before.
Day before?
Yeah.
All right. So that being said, all we need is Mass DOT's approval on the drainage correction. They've had that for, has to be 2 months at this point. Or probably closer to a month. We sent it to them, followed up, and we never got a response. So ultimately we ended up going ahead and performing the corrective actions. And at this point, if FAA has an issue with it, it's sort of on them because they have not been responsive at all. I haven't gotten John Merck on the phone in a few months now. I usually go to Owen for everything.
Right.
So
2 different departments, eh? One
sorry?
Master Aeronautics and one FAA.
yeah, but I find that John usually goes with Owen's opinion on things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
But we
So
can't
I'll-
sign that off as being completed, can we, until the reels and the pappies and the approach plates are done?
the approach plates, I don't think the project closeout hinges on them, but certainly the flight check.
Okay.
I did receive some correspondence from FAA, that being that the AGIS upload is still under review by the National Geodetic Survey. So I asked if there was anything we could do to usher that along, and he said he would reach out and follow up with me if there was.
Okay.
So at this point, yeah, the runway project is going to be held up, or the closeout is going to be held up by those flight checks.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay,
Then moving on to the master plan project, which is more Matt's side of the house than mine. I believe you guys need to schedule a scoping meeting to discuss exactly what's going to happen as part of that. So what I'll do is when I get into the office tomorrow, I'll have a discussion with Matt. We'll reach out and we'll begin coordinating that scoping meeting.
Okay. My understanding, Nick, if I may, is that the RFQ was issued today.
Okay, that is a very good point. We have to get reselected before we can start scoping that
Right.
master plan. So
Right.
that does not make a difference one way or another. If it is Gail doing the master plan, because it's a planning grant, we can apply for
Right.
that grant at any point and get to work. So I don't think there's any deadlines holding us up on that end of the house.
Okay.
And what I'll do is I'll talk with Matt and circle back with the commission tomorrow. And we will figure out a time for scoping that, or I'm sorry, we'll, I guess, preliminarily move forward if Matt is amenable to it. Um, and yeah, that should be about it for the engineers update. And again, I'm sorry I'm not as prepared as I usually am tonight. I just got in.
That's fine. We understand, Nick. You've been on point all the time. So this is no big deal. Don't worry about it. You're doing fine. As far as I'm concerned anyway. So that's about it for Nick. All right. Thank you, Nick. Going back to new business, we got through with Mr. Sheffield's, Mr. Spinelli.
I have some comments on that. Mr.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I guess this is going to be directed at Nick and maybe Peter. So we're getting multiple requests for hangars to be placed at the runway, and I mean at the
Yeah,
area and whatever open space we have available.
Okay.
Am I naive to think that those open spaces are already slated for hangars in the last master plan that was completed?
Let's see.
And if you can answer that, I got a follow-up.
All right. Give me just 1 second while I open up your ALP, and I should be able to get you that information very quickly. If you'd like, you can certainly ask the follow-up question.
Yeah, so my follow-up question is a big question. I propose that the commission ask City Hall for $500,000 or $1 million or whatever it's going to take to put up T hangars. I think we should do it now. If the city doesn't want to do it, I suspect somebody with deep pockets is going to ask the commission if they can do it. And I'm thinking ahead that I would agree to let them do it.
Mhm.
Even though I would rather see the city do it. If anybody wants to comment on that, I'm all ears.
well, I've had previous
Or we
discussions.
can put it on the agenda item, of course.
I've had previous discussions with the mayor, and he is okay with the city doing it. But obviously, it needs to go before the city council.
Yes.
And basically, the plan that I'd already sort of put down on a piece of paper, I sent over to Nick and Matt at Gale. And you know where the 2002 runway is?
Yes.
And runway Charlie that runs down the front of the T hangars.
Yes.
That was going to be where the new T hangars were going to be. And then further down towards the end of the 1-4 end of 3214, there's 4 large commercial hangars for that very purpose, which in this case, either Joe Spinelli or Eric Sheffels could actually bid for that property. But there are a couple of spaces within the current configuration of the airport. One is where the asbestos building could come out. You could get 2 large hangars in there of that size. And they'd fit in there perfectly. And also you've got another opportunity between the Pilots Association hangar and hangar 10, which is where Naval is. There's a big space there that sort of hangar could go in. So whatever you guys decide to do, obviously with Gale and everybody's input, it then has to go to Michelle Ritchie for confirmation that we can do that prior to the airport master plan being agreed to.
Yeah, that was a big question because, you know, the speed at which we move is a little slower than the speed at which a businessman wants to put a hangar up, as we've seen with Gasham. So I don't want to keep telling people, oh yeah, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it, and then they run into 6 months of we don't know how we're going to approach it.
Joe Spinelli is very aware of that, and so is Eric Sheffels, because you know why? There's no other airport that can do what we're doing at the moment because they don't have the available land.
Yeah.
So they are stuck by what we want to do, in all honesty.
Yeah.
Peter, do we have any idea of how much money we could make by having our own city-run T hangars?
Well, if we've got 59 T hangers at the moment, and each one of them is between $350 and $450 a month. So look at your 59 times 350 times 450, and that's going to give you what the monthly intake could be from renting those hangars out.
So we have some kind of ammunition where we could go to the city and say, you know, these are the facts, this is what we're seeing. It would be very proper for the city to follow through on something like this.
100%. And it's almost, I mean, Debbie and I take phone calls. People want to come to the airport, especially as we have the new runway, the new admin building, the new self-serve fuel farm. And I also add on, I'm sure Debbie does as well, that the mayor's, you know, agreed that they will put down a base for a new restaurant with all the utilities that's going to be bid on, you know.
Mhm.
So it's a thriving place to be. It really is.
Like Rich says, there's opportunity here for us, for the city to make some serious money, for the airport to progress. I'm 100%, and the mayor knows it, that I want city-run T-hangers. I think that's the future stability for our airport.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
So to save embarrassment, we must approach the city council and ask for it now. If they say no, we don't have to be embarrassed when some millionaire puts them in himself. And I'm trying to avoid that, but we can't make the decision. We unfortunately can't borrow money from a bank. So I'm saying soon we should know where these hangars are going, propose it to the council, and get this thing rolling sooner than later. It should be, I'll make it an agenda item next meeting, but this is my thought process. And if it can be done prior to a master plan being implemented, then I'll take that avenue.
Make it an agenda item for the next meeting. I agree with you. It's important that we get this done because there is a lot of movement towards our airport, as we can tell by the new business of the Spinelli in Sheffield. I'm sure there's some other folks out there that are thinking the same thing. So let's get the action going. I see Nick shaking his head up and down. I think he agrees with me that there is a lot of movement towards Fitchburg. And I think that we need to jump on it now.
And as a commission, we need to get our heads, out of the sand and start.
I agree.
And
So
let them tell us yay or nay, but
Yeah,
speculate that, hey,
Yeah.
maybe they're not gonna let us borrow $1 million.
you can't.
Well, let them tell us.
Yeah, we can spell out all of the ideas, give them the facts and figures. They say yes or no, and we'll take it from there.
And we can move on.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
As long as you beat the dead horse, the horse is still going to be dead. Let's keep it moving.
To follow up on the current ALP that was approved as part of the last master plan, there are several hangars shown, 2 of which are by the Quonset hangars now. I think those are 9 and 10, right off the main apron.
Yeah.
Then there are 2 shown where the fuel facility went. The remainder, or the last, is a hangar development, but that is on the far side of the runway in that wooded area between the 1-4 end and 0-2 end. So obviously the airport layout plan needs to be updated.
Yeah.
There is nothing designated as hangar space on the decommissioned 220 yet.
Yeah, that's a problem, obviously.
Yeah, it is.
I don't see that as a problem. I see that as an opportunity.
I'm just saying it's a monkey wrench because it's going to be a year, or am I mistaken, before an approved master plan is in place?
Yeah, it can usually take upwards of a year, but for the sake of keeping things moving forward, we could do a pen and ink change, which is where we just make the revision, everybody circulates it and signs it. That just shows hangars being placed in the appropriate area.
You can do that.
Yeah. And I don't want to sprinkle hangars in places where, you know, we need fire truck access, okay? So that's
Okay,
all.
all right.
I'll put it on the agenda for next month.
Okay, thank you. New business, again, Mama Zoom meeting.
Every year there's Massachusetts management. I can't. What's MAMA stand for? Massachusetts Area Management Association, Airport Managers Association.
Okay,
Every year there's been a meeting, and this year there was one as well, but covered by Zoom. And I think there's 37 airports in Massachusetts, Nick. 36.
36.
36 airports in Massachusetts. Everybody attended. And apparently we are doing a lot better than the other airports. One of the big things that came out of the reports from the other airports is that every one of their administration buildings is open to the public and to the pilots. We are the only airport that is not open in Massachusetts. So we've now got regular jets coming in to the airport. Today we filled a jet up and he took just about $1,500 worth of fuel. This is big money for us. And if they can't enter our administration building when there's snow outside, they're going to go elsewhere. So I spoke to the mayor about it, and I believe he's updated you, Vinny, on it, has he?
We did speak briefly about it.
I've filled in all the appropriate forms. All the re-entry forms have been done. I put a plan together. It's been with the Board of Health for 3 weeks. I've heard nothing.
Has it been with the health department or in front of the Board of Health?
I sent it to, beg your pardon. I was asked to send it to AJ and to Susan, which I did. But my understanding was it had to be approved by the Board of Health.
Mm-hmm.
so who do we light a fire under to get it done?
Well, hopefully the mayor's going to light that fire, because I spoke to him about it this morning and he said, yes,
Okay,
he's on it. So
all right, good.
Is this a city building or is it a federal building?
ours is a city building.
The administration building is a
Yeah, it was
city
built by
building?
MassDOT Aeronautics.
Okay.
The Board of Health meets once a month.
Okay,
And do you know when the next meeting is, Vinny?
I'm going to try to look that up now, sir.
Thank you.
okay, while he's doing that, let's turn to page 2. And let's take a look at the Airport Improvement Magazine. What's that all about?
Looking through magazines, I actually asked for circulation of magazines, and I got an inquiry from a magazine called Airport Improvement Magazine. And they noted that we'd just built a new 5,001 foot runway and asked if we would allow them to do a write-up in their magazine with almost 1 million viewers on that magazine. So I asked the mayor if it was okay to do that, obviously. And he said, yeah, no problems at all. And then I said to the magazine that I believe it would be good. Uh-oh, my battery just said my battery's getting low, so I don't want to lose you. Just bear with me a minute.
Sure.
Okay, I'm back in again. Suggested that our consultant should also be involved in this, and also WD White, the people that actually built the runway. And they said yes, but DW White declined. They don't do stuff like that. But Gail has done a big write-up, and I spoke to the magazine manager, the guy that actually did the interview with the both of us, and he said it's going to be in the November-December issue, which we will get copies of. So there's going to be all the small jets in North America seeing that magazine, knowing we've got a 5,001 foot runway to come and visit us. So it really is a massive, massive opportunity to get, you know, advertising the airport and the facilities out. So that was about the Airport Improvement Magazine.
Okay, geese.
We have a proliferation of geese on the airport. I mean, maybe 150.
Really?
Oh yeah, and
And-
they're very dangerous. One of them got run over. Well, he didn't get run over. He got hit the other day by a guy in an airplane. He didn't hit the prop. It just hit the side of the cover over the front wheel.
Yeah.
And I went back to Mama and I asked them, because there's 36 airports, you know, they must have some experience on geese on their own airports. And Chris Willenberg, the ex-Mama chairman, I believe he was, Nick, yeah? Chris Willenberg? Yeah, I think he was. He actually came back saying, look, I'm going to give you a name. He gave me a name at the USDA, United States Department of Agriculture. And I spoke with the guy yesterday, and tomorrow or Friday, he's sending somebody to actually visit to see what the problem is. And he said he could loan us a cannon free of charge, not to shoot them, but to make a noise to fire to frighten them. And if that doesn't work, then we'd have to buy permits from the state and also federal for depredation to get them killed. So I don't want to do that. I'd like to try, I'm sure you all agree, with let's try and get them away. Yep. This thing fires maybe 2 or 3 times a day, with one particularly at night, just when they're starting to settle down, and that boom goes off and they take off and they go to another area. So we'll try that for a week or 2 and see what goes on from there. So at the next meeting, I'll be able to give you an update on that.
How many phone calls are you going to get on that?
I missed that, sorry.
From the city of Leominster.
You hardly can hear you, Rich.
The city of Leominster, they don't like us making noise at the airport. So you know we're going to get some kind of complaints because of that.
Okay.
So what?
Yeah.
Yeah. We just move along. We have to do it. We have to do it. Just speaking on it with the geese for a second. When I lived in Rhode Island, I lived abutment to a large lake, and we did that with the cannon. Keep the noise off the lake, you know, to keep them off the lake and off the property that surrounded it, and it worked. It worked. It ended up at the high school football field instead. So that's what we're looking at. All right, moving right along. S2 box repair.
Yeah, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, there was a lightning strike close to the airport that actually fried the S2 security box that we have.
Yep.
The S2 security box controls the gates, all the passes, and the cameras. And we've got our specialist in to have a look, and in order to get it repaired, $5,129. So all the work's been done, but we lost at that time the database that was in the system. So all the 2 or 3 or 4 or 500 cards that are in the system had to be reprogrammed. So Debbie and I have been working flat out getting all these done when people say, we can't get through the gate, there's something wrong with the gate. Well, no, there's not anything wrong with the gate. The problem is with your card. So if you bring it to us, we'll update the system for you. So we're doing that. And I think at the last meeting, it was Nick that suggested that maybe MassDOT Aeronautics could help because it's a security issue with paying for the bill. So we filled all the forms in and we sent them off. And yesterday we got told that it's been accepted. We are getting the full $5,129 back.
All right.
So, which is good news.
Yeah, signed it yesterday. Okay. That concludes us with new business. Moving on to old business. Yearly badge access fee, including businesses. Peter?
Yeah, that was all signed and sealed last meeting, if you remember.
Okay.
As the people have been coming through to get their badges reauthorized, we've changed the dates, and the majority of the people that are on the business side, I've actually been putting in November the 5th for when they expire. So when they come for their badges, I'm going to send a letter. I think this is the right thing to do. Vinny, your advice is requested, please. I should give them 30 days notice that they are going to pay $10 for their new badge, correct?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. I'll get that done this week, and then we'll apply it on November the 5th. I chose the 5th of November because that's Guy Fawkes Day in England, when Guy Fawkes wanted to blow up the Houses of Parliament. So, and that's a good date, I thought. So,
Was he Irish? Anyway,
No, he wasn't actually.
okay, Phil Commission member vacancy request recommendation for the mayor. We talked about that earlier. You've got,
Yeah, the last one that applied was refused as not living in Fitchburg. But I mean, I can contact the people that I've asked to apply before and they can resend their letters in,
okay,
unless the mayor or anybody else has got any suggestions. I mean, we've got lady pilots on the airport. I think we should ask some of them if they, would be interested.
sure.
But it's up to you guys. What would you like me to do? What would you like us to do?
Well, we gotta have somebody to fill the vacancy.
Right.
And you said something about a priest or something? Or
Yeah,
a
there is a
minister?
priest. He rents, I think it's hangar maybe 37 or 36. And
Okay.
he showed great interest. And I asked him, I said, look, please, if you're that interested, apply to the mayor, send a letter into the mayor. Well, he sent a letter into the mayor and he didn't get any response. And I spoke to the mayor and he said, I never saw the letter. So I'll speak to him and get that done again. Okay?
Here's what
There was a communication in the mayor's office, but the person did not live in the city. Is that what the one you're talking about?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that's the young lady. Yes.
Okay.
But we are allowed 2 people outside the city, Vinny.
Yeah.
So,
So,
okay.
that being the case, why isn't that young lady being contacted and brought in if we're allowed to go outside the city? Can somebody answer that for me?
Well, like I said, it's the mayor's prerogative, so
No, all
you'd
right,
have to ask, you'd have to ask the mayor.
okay. Peter,
yes.
on the priest, ask him to put his handwriting together in an envelope and hand it to me, and I'll see to it that it gets to the mayor's office, all right?
Okay, that's fine.
All right, that way there's nothing in between.
Right.
Because we
All right.
actually have two openings, correct? There should be 5 of us.
Yeah, you're right. Well, let's get one more first, and then we'll
Well,
sort of.
don't give them all away. I want to come
Yes,
back.
well, you've got your position, sir.
Not much longer.
Oh, yes. Anyway, moving along. Manpower. Peter.
Yeah. Manpower is all now good. The gentleman that was off with COVID problems, he's back at work. And we got him involved very, very quickly. Instead of just cutting grass, we've now got him doing everything that he used to do.
Okay, good.
So we requested him to write a letter, get a letter from his doctor to give to Susan Davis, which we got, I think it was Monday of this week, and that's through. And now he's full-time again. He's full-time again, and we've got 2 full-time and 2 part-time. So we're back to normal again.
Okay.
Real good.
Hangar 10, Nagel.
Okay, hangar 10. Basically, everything's done now. We spoke to him just before 5 o'clock today, and he's really happy with the way the hangar's turned out. Mind you, he spent maybe $27,000 to $30,000 of his own money on it, and we provided the labor, as you know. The only thing that we've got ongoing now at the moment are the old tracks with the big 4 doors, but all corroded. And one of our linemen managed to find some old tracks, but they were overhead. And he showed them to me. I said, look, let's do this, this, and this, and cut them off. And we're using those, and it's going to be fantastic. It's done a great job. So hopefully that will all be finished by Friday of this week, and then that hangar's done. Done deal.
Good.
So, and as I said, the mayor's asked if he could go and see, well, I requested Nagel to go and see him, or him to go and see Nagel. And he reminded me of it yesterday when we spoke. So I'll arrange that. He's just spent $5,000 on putting regrind on the front of the hangar so that his cars can park in that area.
Yeah, I saw that.
And he's waiting for it to rain so that he can put a caustic soda solution onto the hot top and it makes it all bond together. And then once that's done, he's going to actually white stripe it for parking spaces. So it's made that a very, very desirable hangar.
Yeah, let's,
And one of the other things that we were thinking about, he asked for some curbstones to go at the front so that the cars don't go into the hangar when they come up to park. So we spoke with the DPW, and the DPW happened to mention, remember the old flower beds that were down Main Street?
Yeah.
We've got 67 of those now, and we are going to put those in front of his hangar and other areas to plant shrubs in.
nice,
It's going to make it look absolutely fantastic.
nice,
And Nagel's really pleased with that. So
that's good. Okay, here we go. Finance charge and/or late fees assessed to rent and fuel.
where are you going to?
Hmm?
Oh,
I'm here.
you missed ENF, right?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Say who? I went from F, which is the hangar abatement, I'm sorry, yeah, excuse me. Hangar abatement for,
Yeah, that was completed after you guys signed that off the last time. So that's all been done now.
okay, looking to G, finance charge and late fees assessed rent and fuel.
Yeah, we discussed that a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
Vinny and Anne were supposed to be sorting it out between them and saying yes or no.
Yep.
So did you get a chance, attorney, to have a look?
So the city code allows for a 1%. I'm sorry, strike that. Hold on. Allows us to charge the same rate for outstanding tax bills. I didn't get a chance to circle back with Ann to confirm absolutely what that is, but I do believe it's the 18%. So if there's an invoice for any unpaid, any invoice remaining unpaid after its due date will accrue interest from the due date at the rate interest is charged on tax bills under the provisions of General Law, Chapter 59, Section 57. And I'm not going to take our time to look that up now. I believe it's 18%, Peter. And if it's not, I'll let you know. So that would be for fees charged, or if there are outstanding bills. But I think on the tie downs and on the leases, and any tenant at will have to sign a new lease, you do have the 1.5% in those leases, which, Peter, is the 18%.
Right.
So and then if Deb's there, maybe she can refresh me. I know that, Deb, we worked on the tie down licenses, I think we called them. And I just went on my computer to look for it, and I can't find it. Because I thought that we had drafted something, and I know that we had a form from another airport. I think we pulled a couple of forms together.
Debbie, you have something on that?
I will send you a copy of what we agreed upon back a while back.
I remember we put something together, and then I think what Peter had brought up some of the issues that he had, which was, what do we do when there's a plane that's somewhat abandoned, and how can we take control of it? And I think we wanted perhaps to add some of those contingencies to that license agreement. So if you send it to me, I can look at it.
Okay.
But Peter would be, it would be great if we could send out a notice, unfortunately, to our tenants at will who don't have one of the new signed leases, a notice to terminate their current at will tenancy and an offer for a new tenancy, which would be the signed lease.
Excuse me, Vinny. Debbie, you have something on that? No, I saw the hand.
I just would say Debbie has put together a pretty comprehensive spreadsheet on the tenants, who has a lease, who doesn't, and then the licenses, which are the signs, and then I think we have a pretty comprehensive list on the tie down licenses. So, I mean, we just would begin by sending out that notice that there's a new lease and providing them a copy of the lease and having them, or requesting that they sign it. The problem's going to be is, what's the commission going to do if Vinny Pusateri is an at-will tenant and I don't wish to sign a new lease? And do we take the next step to evict them?
May I ask a question? If you're a tenant at will, you don't have an agreement, do you?
Well, you have an agreement. You have an agreement that you can occupy a specific amount of space
And
at a
pay so
specific
much
month
money.
at a specific monthly rent. It's just not reduced to a document.
Okay. Okay, well, those are the people that I want to get to sign the new lease agreements.
I think the question Vinny was asking, I think the question Vinny was asking, if he's an at will and he doesn't want to sign the agreement, what do we do?
Well,
Like,
they've just been through that. They had a 10% increase.
Yeah. Okay.
Whereas, you know, the people with the agreements only had a 1.5% increase, or if it was for 6 years, they had, you know, whatever it was at that time. So it's far more beneficial for them to be, I believe, you know, have a lease agreement. But it's a very good question.
Okay.
We certainly would be remiss if we communicated that we had no willingness to actually proceed with an eviction, because if you just tell them, hey, we would like you to sign a new lease, please, and if you don't, nothing's going to happen.
Oh yeah,
Then
no,
we're going to continue to go along the current.
Right. I agree 100%.
I think we need to put a little more teeth into it.
Can I, Mr. Chair, can I interrupt?
Sure, go ahead.
So, I mean, there are some people at the airport that like to go month to month because maybe they don't know the stability of their business and what have. I mean, they may not want to be in a long-term lease. I mean, would we offer a yearly lease or something that would kind of be a happy medium between monthly lease and long-term lease? I mean, it's not like we're gonna kick somebody out because they won't sign a long-term lease. I mean, that's foolish.
Right. So, the airport manager has two different forms currently. He has a building lease and he has a lease for land. And both of those forms are blank in their material terms, which is amount of the monthly rent and the term of the lease. So that could certainly be done on an individual basis. And that would be really up to either the manager and then the commission approving the written document after, it's almost like a two bites at the apple. Try to negotiate it first through the manager and then have the commission approve it.
So I guess my question is, why would I want to sign a lease longer than 1 month?
The only answer to that, Commissioner, would be because if you don't, we're going to start an eviction proceeding because we want that space for someone that will sign this written document. Now, I guess you could allow the written document to be a month-to-month, terminable upon 30 days notice. So the term could be really reduced that way. But then again, that would be up to the commission.
I don't know anybody at the airport that has a business there that wants a month-to-month lease. They've got too
Because
much.
that would give us the right to terminate it within a month's notice as well.
Yes.
Okay. All right. We could talk about this for a little. Moving along. Standard operating procedure, H.
Not yet.
Okay. Drones, I. Nothing with drones?
Nope. I can't do it because of COVID-19.
Yeah.
The people in a room, so.
Solar farm, the same thing, right?
Oh, no, definitely not.
Okay.
This is actually going ahead pretty well. There's a guy named Byron Woodman who contacted me 2 days ago of Select Energy in Hopkinton, Mass, who is the person that's going to propose building the solar farm to the west of 3214.
Yeah.
And we're meeting tomorrow at 2 o'clock on the phone
Okay.
for first discussions. And this is one of the people that said that it's not out of the question to expect, once the solar farm's in there, with no cost to us, that we can get $200,000 a year from the selling of that electricity.
That's nice.
It's very nice.
Yes.
I just would interrupt.
Yep.
Peter, is there a purchasing component here that Mary wants to review?
There may be, and that will be from tomorrow, Vinny.
Okay.
I want to see what they want to do before I go back to Mary.
Okay.
I mean, it's pointless getting her involved straight away, isn't it? Until we know exactly what the situation is.
I guess the word of caution would be, we can't promise him anything other than we have the availability of space, and it's going to have to go out to the public.
I think what Peter's talking about is just an informational conversation between the two.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, Peter?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, all this was actually done through the mayor and AJ. They gave me the contacts and I went after them.
Okay.
Okay.
These are the people that actually do the consulting on solar to the city. So it's all, you know, everybody knows who they are, what they do. So, but I'll take that and run with that tomorrow.
Sure. Good. Okay, I'm moving right along to 7, financial review. Approval of commitments and abatements.
Do we have abatements well, we do have abatements this month.
No, we don't have,
We don't?
No?
no.
All right. Okay.
Okay. Fuel sales.
We're working on this mainly to establish a datum that we can actually move forward with. So
Okay.
hopefully by next month's meeting, we'll have some more detail for you.
Okay. Rent.
I got a breakdown today at 4:45 on the rent situation.
Okay.
Just to let you know, on the fuel, as you know, we were owed considerable amount of money on fuel sales where people hadn't paid. That's down to less than $1,000 now
Good.
on the fuel. And on the monthly rent, because of the abatements, we're running at about $12,000 that's owed.
It's owed.
And we will get those in because they are big companies on the airport and I'm already speaking to them.
Okay.
We're speaking to them and, you know, we will get that money.
Okay. You gotta understand, you know, anybody gives you a hard time on this, that, you know, moving forward, this airport is gonna become a hot place to be. And any of these people,
Absolutely.
you know, anybody that doesn't want to participate with it, like,
Yep.
like Counselor said, evict them. Okay, manager's operation report.
Well, I think I've said enough, don't you?
Yeah, I think so.
You know, but no, just very quickly. Nick already covered DW White. They've
Yeah.
finished the punch list. We know what we've got to get done before
Yep.
finalized. The self-serve fuel farm's exactly the same. We're waiting for a new vent valve that hopefully will be in there by the end of this week. So, I mean, I think we covered just about everything above.
Yep.
You know, in all honesty, unless anybody's got any questions.
I don't
Well,
have.
one other question. Last month's meeting, there was somebody that owed us like $1,700. They were going to pay us in 2 parts. Did they pay?
No.
Okay.
The first check of $900 was $300. The second check, he's meeting with us on Friday or Saturday. He's bringing $500. And I told him, I said, this is his last chance. If he doesn't bring that $500, that plane's going out online. And he said, yeah, you'll definitely get it. You'll definitely get it.
Okay.
So I know it's no excuse, but I understand his wife's been really ill. And he just doesn't have the money.
Yeah.
But I told him, I said, I'm sorry, that's not my problem. And he accepts what we've got to do. You know, we've got to get the money in. So I'll give you a better update. Hopefully by next meeting, it will all be paid.
Okay.
Hey, Peter?
Yeah.
To through the chair, one last question.
Sure.
You're at the airport on a daily basis. What do you see in activity, planes coming in from further regions, just to scope us out, just to see what's going on in Pittsburgh? Do you see a lot more activity than normal?
Well, yeah, I saw 3 planes I'd never seen before today. And one of them was an Alaskan bush plane with the big wheels on a Cessna 180. I'd never seen that before. And he flew in, and yesterday there were 2 up from Pennsylvania. People fly into us now because of the 5,000-foot runway when they're coming back from Maine to go down to New York and Pennsylvania. So we're seeing more, definitely.
Okay, good.
Definitely.
That's terrific. Okay. Date, time of the next regular meeting will be October 28th, 2020 at 6 p.m. I'd like to go into executive session if I could with Peter and Debbie, if the other commissioners don't mind.
No problem.
Okay. Looking for a adjournment, please.
Make a motion to adjourn.
What's the subject matter on this executive session?
It's going to be a presentation to the city council about the airport. Something that the mayor requested we do.
Yeah,
I just-
okay.
All right.
I'm just going to say, I don't think that's a legitimate purpose for an executive session. Is there a confidential component here that I don't understand?
Not really. I just don't want to bother everybody else. That's all. You want to listen in, fine.
I would just recommend that you stay in an open session.
All right, keep it in open session, not a problem. All right,
Thank you.
Peter,
Yeah.
Debbie. The mayor had suggested to us both, I think at one time, that he wanted us to present the airport to the city council as far as what's been taking place, all the advantages that they've been having, all of the good things. I think you were involved with that. Were you not?
Yeah, it was at I think the last commission meeting.
Yeah, right, exactly. So I'd like to put together a little piece that we can bring to the city council and to talk to them about what's been going on. I'm going to be seeing Mike Kazmarek in the next few days, and I'm gonna ask him if we can be put on the agenda. And I'll come out and see you, and we'll talk about what we can say and do. Anybody got a problem with that?
No, don't forget the $1 million for the T hangers, please.
Yeah,
Yes. I'm listening.
that's our intent.
See what?
Give them our intent to increase the hangars for the city. So yeah, we want $1 million.
I can't understand you. Something's wrong with your audio.
Okay.
I think if I hear Richie correctly, he's asking to be sure to express our intent for this near future projects, such as the T hangers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's all part of it. That's going to be all part of it. It's going to be informational. Basically, what he wants us to do is to present the airport to the city council of all the improvements and all the good things that are happening, because there were some naysayers aboard the council, and he just wants to make sure that they're informed of what's going on.
May I ask a question whilst
Sure.
Attorney Busateri is there?
Yep.
I honestly believe the best bang for the buck is to do that face-to-face and not through a Zoom meeting.
Oh, yeah, city council.
But there's no city council meetings at the
Right.
moment. They're
I
all
get,
Zoom.
oh, that's right, too. They moved.
So
They're
my
doing Zoom.
question
Yeah,
to
they're
the
doing Zoom.
attorney is, when do you think that the city council will open up the offices? Because it's got to be after that date.
Well, I don't think anybody knows. Because even if we do move into the new building, I'm not convinced that we're necessarily going to go and have in-person city council meetings in the legislative building. So it would be unclear, but certainly by January, February, hopefully we'd be occupying the new city hall.
Right. I mean, to be quite honest, I think a face-to-face meeting is much better, because
Of course it
then we could have a projector, we could put it up onto a screen and explain exactly what we want to do.
Agree,
Totally different to one of these types of meetings.
agree. I agree.
Peter, I would just suggest, not as a legal issue, that the presentation would model that of a typical business plan, where it would be that you would be making an application for financing with your financier. You would show them your asset, you would show them how you want to leverage the different locations. You've got that drawing that Gail helped us with, shading out the areas of potential future development. And you would show them a computation of anticipated stream of revenue based upon the construction. And that would be the sales pitch.
Right.
I 100% agree. We would be amiss if that's not included.
Oh, no, absolutely.
I agree completely.
Okay.
Point taken, well taken, thank you. That's all I have. If anybody's got anything else,
Board of Health meets the first Thursday of the month.
okay.
So I think we just need to get a contact in with Steve Curry. The more I think about this, the more I believe that the closure of the building was a human resources issue more than a health department issue. So I wanted to just follow up with the mayor's office on that as well. And then,
So I don't
Peter, that-
understand that. Vinny. I don't know. What do you mean? A human resource issue?
I think the human resources
You just froze.
health of employees required closure of the building because you don't comply with a certain amount of square footage. That's what I think.
No, I agree not to open it up to the public, but you know what we want to do, there's 4 to 6 people on each plane and that's it. And they would be transferred through the lobby into the pilot's lounge, go nowhere else and go to the lobby bathroom and that's it.
Well, even if we have to recommend 2 at a time.
Peter, I think we just have to follow up and get a final clarity on, is this a Board of Health issue or is this a employment issue? And then we'll go from there, okay? But
Yeah, no, absolutely. fine.
listen, you're talking to someone that my inclination would be to open it up.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I don't even know how lawful all these orders are. I think what you're going to find out is that their Monday morning quarterbacks are going to come out when this is long gone, and they're going to say that none of this was lawful.
Mhm.
So,
Okay.
you know,
So, we'll do that. Okay, I have a motion, seconded, and a vote to adjourn. All those in favor again?
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting adjourned.